sometimes that is better.
Michael, welcome to the stage, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Honored to be on the show. Very happy to be here, talk about all things Fuzz on the Lens, and really a big fan of your channel and what you've been doing over the years. So it's truly an honor for me.
Thank you, man. That really means a lot. I appreciate that so much, dude. I'm so hyped for Stream. I cannot wait for this film. Tell the audience a little bit about it. Like, what can we expect from this upcoming slasher?
Sure. So we came up with this idea a few years ago where we wanted to do something fresh, something different. We wanted to take the slasher genre and do something a little more modern and kind of involve what's going on today. And what is that? That's a lot of technology stuff. So we wanted to bring kind of that 80s classic, horror that we all know and love and just bring it into the 21st century. We shot Stream right after doing Terrifier 2 with pretty much the same exact crew. Right after really almost completing, not even fully completing, because there was a pandemic, right, called COVID, that hit everyone. And so as we were taking a break with Terrifier 2 and we were getting ready to do Stream, all of these things kind of overlapped. And it's funny, when we were on set shooting this film, Damien was in his hotel room, and for all those, Damien Leone, director of Terrifier, Terrifier 2 and upcoming Terrifier 3, he did all the special effects for Terrifier. He did all the special effects for Stream as well as producer. And he was in his room editing Terrifier 2. So it was like, hey, knock, knock, Damien, we need you for this effect. He'd come out and do it and then go right back in. And it was cool to kind of see Terrifier 2 coming together, in the edit room as we were putting together Stream.
Stream has like this incredible cast of horror icons. It's great. This expendable of horrors you guys are basically making, including Tony Todd, Jeffrey Combs, Danielle Harris, Dee Wallace, Tim Reed. The list goes on. What was it like making this film with all of these horror legends?
As a horror fan, first and foremost, it really was a treat to be able to work hand in hand with a lot of these people that I, really enjoyed their performances and their work growing up. And what's cool is this film, they're not cameo appearances. When you have a lot of names like that, it could kind of seem like there's just going to be a couple of one shot or one line and then kind of disappear for the rest of the movie. And for the most part, they really got some really, really great screen time. And that was the one thing with this movie, is we wanted it to be story driven first and concept driven. Other than the names, and the names obviously are great, but what's awesome is they all fit the characters that were a part of the script. These characters weren't added for name value. They were there and they had fit those. And when they had read the script, they were like, oh, this is a really cool, fun story. I want to be a part of this. And that was something that was really amazing for me to see that they're connecting with the movie and what we have and everything that's kind of in store. So that's just a bonus to have them a part of this. And I'm super stoked for everybody to get to see what we've done with them. But then at the same token, to see what we've done with some unknowns. We have a great lead in Charles Edwin Powell, and some people may recognize him from Exorcist 3, but he's not a huge horror icon name, so to speak. But I think by the end of Stream, people will really get to know him and love him, like Lauren Levera and people like that. So I'm excited to see what everyone thinks of the people that they might not know just yet, but will by the time the movie is released.
So you are looking to make this like into a big franchise, though, correct?
Yeah, that is the hope. Obviously, it's up to you guys, it's up to the fans to really dictate if that's able to happen. But we do have some ideas. I think in this particular situation, concept is really king. And we have a great concept here that I believe can span over different films, and I think it could. What we have in store and what we think we can do with it, we can constantly keep it fresh without getting stale and mundane. And that's what I'm truly super excited about. And I'm excited to deliver to the audiences. We just want to make a fun film, and that's what we wanted to do going in. And I'm super excited for everyone to see what Damien has done effects-wise. Everybody knows what he has done with Terrifier and what he can do. And him and Phil Falcone and a few others really, really deliver the goods. And, although this isn't Terrifier, this is something different. And we wanted to show everybody we can do something different. And it's a different story. There's no Art the Clown, but there is David Howard Thornton. But, although this isn't Terrifier, we definitely deliver the goods in our own unique, creative way.
We all love Damien Leone. He's a special effects wizard. And he's doing the effects on this film. And he talks a little more about like how they came out way more graphic than what you were even anticipating. How did these kills stack up against something like a Terrifier 2?
So They're definitely creative. They're definitely gory. I would say the only difference maybe is, Art the Clown has a very signature style of brutality where, when you think it's going to end, it just keeps going and going and going and going. I'd say we don't do that 100% in stream. It's a different kind of brutality, but we don't hold back in how graphic and brutal and crazy that they are. It's just that they might not go on for, let's say, 10 minutes in a bedroom.
Right. We're not bringing in the salt and the bleach this
right.
time.
There's no salt and bleach, because there's a sick, twisted evilness that Art has that when you're down, he just keeps going. Whereas with stream, we didn't want to go that crazy with it, but we still wanted to deliver on, the exclamation point and really showcase what Damien can do. I know, speaking with Damien, he could probably talk to this more than I can, but when we were doing it, I was super happy, and I want to know if he's happy with it. And he had constantly says, I'm really proud of the effects and the gore and stuff. And, he was like, I'm really proud with a lot of these kills. And this was before Terrifier had even come out. He's like, I'm really think this is going to make fans and audiences and everybody a part of the genre that loves the genre happy. And Phil Falcone really stepped in too. I don't want to talk too much about, obviously the kills and stuff, but Phil ended up taking the reins on some of it towards the end when Damien really got super, busy with Terrifier stuff. And I got to tell you, he learned so much from Damien working hand in hand with him. I'm so proud of Phil. He really came in and kicked ass. And Damien was like, wow, maybe we should let him do things totally on his own now. I mean, he's so good. So good. And I'm so honored to have the both of them a part of this.
I'm like so excited for the film. And speaking of which, I love the concept for this movie overall. Just being about essentially a struggling family recreating a vacation from their past. What was the inspiration for setting a slasher film at a hotel and making it almost like a sadistic game show?
So obviously we all love our final girls. And, very honored to have one in Terrifier with Lauren Lavera. But, when we were writing this script, I wanted to do something a little bit against the grain. And I wanted to do something where it wasn't 100% your final girl. I wanted to focus on a family. I wanted to focus on a dad's love for his family and his will to continue to keep going and fighting. A lot of times you don't see that much in horror films. You see that more in action movies. But I really wanted to kind of take that concept, which is really old school, but kind of we've strayed away from more recently, and kind of go back to that and really show the heart and the nucleus of, just kind of the old school Americana family. And I'm really, really super excited about what Charles Edwin Powell has brought to the role. And, we wanted to set it in one location because there's something claustrophobic about that. Obviously we can do what we did with Terrifier and do multiple locations. Abnormal Attraction, I don't know if you've seen our film. Yeah, Abnormal Attraction. We went to multiple different locations, and that's a huge undertaking. And, obviously it makes it the budget crazier and more out there. But we wanted to kind of just do a story, a more simpler story in a one location, but then really exploit that one location and kind of push it and keep things interesting. And that was a challenge, for us too. And I'm really excited with how that had come out and how that has come. And I can't wait for everybody to really take a look and see what we did to keep things constantly fresh, constantly moving, because things could get stale with a one location film. And I'm really proud and honored that, we kept it moving. And again, it was just that challenge of wanting to do that. And then also the game element came. Really, it was this spitballing back and forth where we had the basic idea of what we wanted to do. And then it was like, okay, how do we now make it different? And it was this, kind of game, so to speak, this cat and mouse game and kind of the showmanship. And it was funny. It was before, it shows, I guess we were onto something. This was written back in 2016, end of 2015, 2016. And it was before the Squid Games, and it was before the escape room movie. So it shows that we were onto something. Now there seems to be these kind of, game show or game kind of live stream stuff going on. So, it seems that it's kind of the end. So I'm really excited that, we can kind of continue that trend.
Yours is definitely unique too. Like just from the trailer alone, I can tell like Jeffrey Combs kind of being like this, like game, like he's running the whole thing and all that. I love it.
I wanted to do it different because there's obviously the saws and the things like that. And obviously being a horror fan, you can't help but want to include some elements from every film. I mean, we do it in Terrifier. I've done it in everything I've done. because that's the stuff that we love. That's the stuff that we want to see. That's the stuff that we grew up on. But with Stream, yeah, we although we do that, we wanted to make it unique and its own thing and its own story. Again, I don't want to give too much away, but there's a hook that is totally different from a lot of the other stuff that you see. And again, it's still a slasher at heart. A lot of these game showy or these, live stream things, they're not that. It's more about the mechanics of the game and like Saw's about the traps and things like that. Whereas this is at heart a true, slasher film.
Another way you guys stand out is having 4 killers opposed to the usual one. One of them even played by Jason Leavy and David Howard Thornton, who portray players 1 and 2. How do these killers compare to like the likes of Art the Clown or the Out of Shape from Halloween 60?
So what he's talking about for all our viewers there, yeah, we did the spoof trailer for Halloween 60. We had plans to do, the other 2 trailers with kills and ends. I had a whole script and everything. And it was just, we got so busy with the Terrifier stuff. And then obviously Stream and then some other things that we were doing on the side and documentaries and stuff that it just kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed, which is good in a way because it's like, we're able to focus on our own content. But to answer your question, it's kind of like, we want to take the embodiment of what we love from other slashers and kind of fuse them a little bit into what, at least the base of how we built them. Every killer, and when you have 4, it's hard enough to make one, right? But when you have 4, it's like, how do you differentiate them from each other? How do you make them unique? How do you make them different? So we kind of based every one of them off of different quirks and different qualities that we love of past slashers, but then having talented people like David Howard Thornton, like my brother Jason. You guys are going to get to know Liana Praglia, who plays player 3, and Mark Haynes, who plays player 4. I mean, he's a massive dude. He's almost 7 feet tall. He's brolic. Nice. He's big. They bring their own unique personality that only they can do, and that's why they were cast in the role. So, really excited to see. I'm really excited to see what killer, when this comes out, that audience is most either root for or attracted to, and who they like the best, because I obviously have my favorite. Damien has his favorites, and they're all unique and they're all cool in their own ways, but I'm curious to see what everyone kind of, gravitates towards.
Oh, that's awesome though, man. I mean, because everyone has such a different personality.
Part of it, right? I think that's part of it is like, you can argue about who you like more, and like, and that's what I think is unique about this story too, is, we have 4 killers. And, you can kind of debate who you like and who you dislike and what kill is better and why. And that's something that is, I think, what drew me to wanting to bring this project to life too, is that very rarely do you have 4 killers that are distinctively different, but also they wear the same mask. I don't know if anybody catch up. It's the same exact mask, but they tailor them a little bit to their own style. And again, the tailor is not like, store kind of tailor. This is, in the garage, in the whatever, where they can just do it on the spot and make it unique to their personality. But that was something that was important to me, was having the same exact mask that they kind of just uniquely change across the board. But at the heart, it's the Michael Myers, it's the Freddy Krueger, it's that same look. And that's what I'm happy to say that we accomplished.
You are hoping to start a franchise with this one and make a sequel at some point. Do you already have some ideas?
Yeah, we do. We actually have 3 already mapped out, if it all goes according to plan, as locations and even actors and more horror icons that want to come on board if they so choose and if we so choose. So we have a really cool path. And like I said, I think the main thing with Stream is the concept. I think the concept is something that's really fun and really exciting, and I think that it could stay fresh for a while because of its concept. And you're not kind of limited to sometimes what horror franchises are limited to in, having just have one killer, for example, and that's something that I also am proud about Terrifier, is we've kept it fresh, and we've kept it, from not being stale. And Damien's got a great handle on that. It's just kind of trying to follow suit with Stream and just keep up in the ante. I think you've heard Damien at least say this, and I'm pretty much the same way, is we care and we look at every single thing that our fans say, that critics say, that people that don't like us say, the people that do like us, different podcasts and stuff. We listen to it all. We try to really scour the depths of the internet to really see what everyone's thinking. And then we try to include a lot of those things or adapt and whatever in our work. Again, we have to be clear on our vision and make sure that we don't get too over, crowded. But we really do care of what our fans do, because first and foremost, we are making this for our fans, and we want to make sure that they're happy. And then a lot of times, you guys see things that we might not, or it's like, oh, okay. So we really do care, and we really take it to heart. And so we'll see kind of what the response is, and then we'll take it from there. But there is a clear vision on where it's going, and then it's just a matter of, okay, do we adapt slightly, or are we 100% a go? So that's fun too for us.
That's another thing I just admire about all you guys. Like, you don't, like, you look at the criticism and then you move forward with it, or decide, well, actually, no, we're gonna do this the way we want to. I just admire that. I think that's incredible. You guys have been like so kind just to me and a bunch of other YouTube channels out here. So once again, thank you so much for all of that.
Thank you for just caring and for following along with us, and reporting on it and enjoying what we do, because without you and without the fans, we can't do it. Or else it'd just be me showing it to, us showing it to each other, or our mom and dad,
Stream tentatively releases sometime in 2024 before Terrifier 3. So you guys got 2 big releases next year. Do you have any idea like when and where people will be able to see this flick?
Yeah. So the hope, originally we didn't want it to be as in 2024. We were hoping for 2023, but obviously the powers that be with strikes and, different things, it kind of got pushed, which is fine. There's always blessings in disguise. We are aiming for, and it probably will be, a theatrical release. Again, I can't, we're still in the process of negotiating and things like that, so I can't exactly say how big or how small that will be. But it won't be, the release will not be like the week before Terrifier 3, I can tell you that. I mean, that would, so it'll be much before that. And yeah, there's a gap right now where people are wanting to see more from us. And so we have Stream while everybody is waiting for Terrifier 3. And then hopefully, everyone enjoys Stream, just as much or half as much or whatever. And we'll get another franchise out of it that we can just keep delivering the goods on.
Absolutely, man. I hope so. I will be there day one in the theater. I'm so excited to see this one, man.
We wanted to make sure that we didn't, even with the trailer that we just released, the teaser, that we didn't give too much away. We really were trying. I hate when trailers give so much away. But we wanted to show everyone, hey, this is going to be a fun, creative movie. It's going to be gory. But I didn't want to give any spoilers away with any of the, big kills and stuff. But we wanted to show there will be blood. And again, show the people that are attached and give a little bit of what's going on, but, not too much story-wise. So I hope anybody who saw it enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Please share it, because this helps us so much. We really are. I know Terrifier popped and exploded, but we really are at the core a small team, low budget filmmakers just trying to make it happen and trying to deliver and make good content.
So speaking of which, how can the viewers at home help out and support Stream now?
It's just a matter of right now, it's just spreading the word. The trailer is the biggest thing. If they could take the link that we have from Fuzz and the Lens on the YouTube page, share it around. If anybody wants to do reaction videos to it, we're going to put together some of the best reactions and some of the best commentary of it in a nice one singular video, and we'll release some of those. Any articles, I know it's been getting a lot of good feedback, which is awesome. So if anybody has any connections to websites or articles and things like that to do stories on, please do. I share them all the time. I take little quotes out of them. And again, it just helps us reach audiences and reach people that might not know about it and see it, because it's tough to do on your own. So with you guys, it helps. And if you like it, even more, even great, even better. And again, that's just how you have to do it at this level. We don't have a ton of money to go full blown into marketing and getting billboards and all. It's just not how it is right now. Maybe one day, hopefully.
And you're doing things differently with every movie too. Like I know Damien has talked about with Terrifier 3, it's going to be like this darker version of it, where like 2 got a little goofier. I just appreciate that. It's like, you don't want to make the same movie twice, and that's awesome. Like that's the whole, that's why we're supporting these indie films, to not see the same movie over and over again.
Yeah, and Damien, let me tell you, he challenges himself, and it really, helps all of us around each other just want to get better and challenge ourselves and to make a better quality, project each time and go bigger and bigger and bigger. And Damien really, I'm telling you, what he's got in store for Terrifier 3, I'm super excited to be a part of it again. Been a part of this franchise since the first one, and I have my head from Will the Exterminator sitting back here. That's the duplicate one. That's the one we didn't use. The other one's sitting on somebody's mantle, I think, in Australia. But
No way.
yeah. It was like somebody that like invested in the film. Damien gave it to him as a gift at the end, so he's got it, which is really cool. But yeah, Terrifier 3, like I said, Damien is gonna bring it back to some of that grittiness that he had in the All Hallows Eve and, some of the original Terrifier stuff. We're going to make it a lot more scary, but still deliver on the fun and the kills. And it's really cool. I'm excited to see how this comes out. The script is coming along. It's in a really great place. It's exciting. It's like when I read Terrifier 2, I couldn't wait to jump in and start making it and seeing it happen. And, I think we got another really awesome movie for the fans, and I think they're going to enjoy it with Terrifier 3.
Do you have any idea of when you guys are going to start filming for Terrifier 3?
Unfortunately, I mean, I have an idea, a hopeful idea. I don't know if I could say when, because, again, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. But the SAG strike and stuff definitely affects everything. It was like we were moving, and then that kind of happens. But you know what? We've dealt with it before. It's the same thing kind of with COVID. We were moving and then it stopped, and look at the results of what happened. So you just got to kind of take it in stride and use that time to continue to polish, continue to hone in, and just do the things that you can control. And that's really what we've been doing. That's what Damien's been doing. That's what Phil's been doing, is just getting the ducks in a row, lining everything up, making sure that when that does end and everybody's happy, then we can just, hit the ground running, because we haven't stopped behind the scenes, whatever we can control, to continue to work on.
Absolutely. And there's always going to be obstacles with the film, I think. Like, I think Bruce Campbell had said at one point, and a movie that's easy to make is not going to be a good movie. I'm very much so paraphrasing him. But, like, you guys are always going to have obstacles making big horror movies like this. And, like, I feel like you guys are traversing it really well.
Yeah, and you know what? It's because we got a really good team. And you can trust and you can rely on each other. And it's because we believe in it. Listen, if I tell you that Terrifier 2 was the most, easiest thing we've ever did, and it was, everything was rainbows and butterflies, and it was not. It was brutal. It was like, but it was funny because it was like one of the best times of my life. At the same token, one of the worst times of my life making that film. But what made it better was the team and the people that you're around. But they were brutal hours. 12, 13, 14, 16. I think we did one 20-hour day, turned around very quickly. And, it was like everyone's like dying, but we believed in the project so much. And, we wanted to make sure that we delivered and got everything done. And, we had a very, very limited budget that we were working with, as it's been reported now constantly. So it was just, how do you make it happen? You just have to jump in the weeds, and you just have to get down and dirty and just do it. And if you're doing it with people that you didn't love or appreciate and respect and have a good time with, then it might be a lot harder. But because we have such a great relationship, I mean, these are like my best friends, and we hang out other than making movies.
And that's how it's been with you guys, like, pretty much since the beginning. I mean, Terrifier, the original one, only had like a $35,000 budget, and I mean, you guys made something incredible that blew up on Netflix. Like, how was that experience to basically be working on a micro budget slasher and then have it like be everywhere that like in a next couple of years?
It's still surreal, like, I'm getting a little more, I guess, numb, not less appreciative, because that will never go away, but a little more numb, I guess, to like seeing all the Terror Thread and Terrifier shirts and all that stuff that are out there. But it's still, if I take a step back, it like still blows me away. Like, wow, like this is crazy. Like the amount of them is kind of what shocks me now. In the beginning, it was like that one person was wearing it. It was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I remember I was at my first convention. I wasn't even a guest. I was there as a fan. I went to Halloween 40 in Pasadena, and I was there with my brother, and we were getting recognized for Terrifier. They were saying, are you Will the Exterminator in the Terrifier movie? And are you the cop? And we were like, yeah. And I remember calling Damien and saying, dude, I wish you came out here with me. I said, this is insane. People are recognizing us from this little movie we did. And then I was seeing like merchandise of like people that are just making, saws with Art's face on it, and, salt and pepper shakers with me and Art. It was like crazy. And I remember calling him and saying, dude, this is surreal. And finally, about a month or so later, he went to his first convention, and they saw it and they were like, wow, this is incredible. And, to this day, to even say, like, when people say it, that Art's up there with, Michael Myers and stuff. It's an honor to hear. We don't necessarily like to say that, but it's truly surreal, and it just brings a smile to my face just to know that that we made something that people can connect with, and that we made something that are inspiring other filmmakers as well. And hopefully it seems that we've kind of opened the door for indie filmmakers in general, because it's so hard to make a movie. It's so hard to get your content out there. And, to be able to be somewhat a part of something that matters to people is really, really humbling.
You're doing something that a lot of people like aren't doing right now. Like, there's not a whole lot of other horror icons. I think that's why art has risen to the top, essentially, in a lot of ways. I mean, there are many other reasons, of course, too, but there's just no other like big horror slasher icons right now. So like Art the Clown is kind of like leading that charge right now. It's just amazing. Like, everybody, anytime I go to a convention, there's like at least 1 in 3 people is wearing some kind of Terrifier thing. So I mean, it's just incredible the influence you guys have had over so many horror fans.
It's awesome, and it's such a great honor. And like, what's funny is I just saw the other day there was a cosplayer for Stream that I was like, the movie's not even out yet. This is, and it just shows the impact of what we've done with Terrifier. And then somebody had a tattoo of one of the killers, Player One, on his arm. It says Stream. It's got the digital glitches all over it, and I made a joke. I said, well, what happens if you don't like the movie?
What's happening next?
What's funny is his response was, "That's not even an option." He goes, "I know what you guys are going to deliver," and that's super cool. I think people know what to expect from us at this point, and it's that we're going to deliver the goods. It's going to be a fun ride. It's going to be creative. It's going to be different, and it's just going to be entertaining. And that's what I hope people get out of Stream, and obviously out of Terrifier 3, and anything that we do going forward. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters most, is being entertained and enjoying the ride that we're presenting.